I often find myself breaking down characters and plots when I'm watching TV shows and movies, so I decided to share my genius opinions with you. My name is Juan, and this is Film Senti, where I'll be diving deep into the most popular and unpopular TV shows, characters, and movies, pointing out what's wrong and what's right about them. But for now, I'll start by listing my top 5 favorite movies. And if you could help me out by hitting the like, subscribe, and notification bell, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, let's get into it. Coming in at number 5 on my list is The Wedding Singer. Now, I'm a huge fan of Adam Sandler movies, from Big Daddy, 51st Dates, Uncut Gems, Funny People, That's My Boy. Well, maybe not the last two, but you get the idea. Most of his movies are enjoyable, some of them a little bit over the top, but hey, there's nothing I can't tolerate. And out of all his movies, Wedding Singer is my favorite. It's a feel-good movie. It's bright, it has a great love story, something simple, nothing really complicated, and to me it's peak level Adam Sandler humor. I do love the retro feel of this movie because I am obsessed with the 80s and 90s. From the movies, from the way they dress, and from the music. And speaking of music, Adam Sandler has the best songs in his movies. I mean, even down to the songs that he sings.
I wanna make you smile whenever you're sad. Carry you around when your arthritis is bad. All I wanna do is grow old with you.
But my favorite song in this movie is Hungry Hearts by Bruce Springsteen. Number 4 on this list is Sherlock Holmes and Sherlock Holmes: The Game of Shadows. Now, I know I may be cheating a little bit, putting two movies in the same slot, but I really couldn't decide between them, so I just, put both of them there. Just gotta deal with it. So these movies came out when Robert Downey Jr. was on his comeback tear. He was doing Tropic Thunder, The Soloist, Due Date, and all the Marvel movies. These movies kind of reintroduced me to him as an actor. See, I'm not a big fan of Sherlock Holmes, but I am a fan of him. Like, if I come across something Sherlock Holmes related, I'm stopping what I'm doing and I'm probably gonna watch it. I even bought The Great Mouse Detective, which is kind of based on Sherlock Holmes. Now, the visual storytelling and editing techniques from Guy Ritchie was amazing in these two movies. From the action scenes, the fight scenes, slow motion sequences, the infamous forest chase, which I'm pretty sure everybody loves, and the inner monologues from Sherlock. This movie displays the intelligence and mystery of Sherlock Holmes. It's a game of wit and trickery, and I admire the work that went into this film. Now, I know this movie is a little higher on the list, but the next one was more personal and always hits home for me when I watch it, but not because of what it's known for. Boo, 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 West Side. Boo, 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 West Side. I remember when I first watched Friday, my mom told my brother and I not to copy what we seen in this movie. She knew how impactful and relatable Friday was, even though we were young. And I didn't include the other two Fridays in this spot because the first Friday was more impactful. It had more meaningful messages like peer pressure is real and hard to combat. Think before you make irrational decisions. Protect our women at all costs. And the most important lesson.
$1 is an envelope. Man, what the hell you doing? Man, you know how much money you can get for a slip and fall in the store? Man, you need to stay off that crack, man.
Friday was a perfect blend of comedy and drama, unlike the sequels where they were just full-on comedies. Take the Debo fights at the end of the first and second movie and let me know if you know the difference.
There you go, bro. There you go. Get up, man. Get up, man. Come on, Ding, ding, school's in, bitch. Motherfucker. Got your ass right here.
The first one was more serious, you felt engaged until the fight. The second one was more playful. You got the happy music or the weird music in the back. They're cutting scenes, and it just wasn't very engaging. Friday also had a lot of great comedians and rising black actors involved, from Chris Tucker, Bernie Mac, John Witherspoon, Nia Long, Regina King, Anne Maria Horsford, AJ Johnson. All of these people are highly respected in their own right. And if you ask me, I think Friday is one of the most quotable movies ever. I'm pretty sure if you ask somebody to quote Friday, you'll probably get one of these.
Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen. In the goddamn refrigerator.
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
Excuse me, brother. What we call drugs is 74th Street Baptist Church. We call us sin.
Well, around here, between Normandy and Weston, we call this here a little twin.
Wow.
Nigga. You got knocked the fuck out, man.
But overall, Friday has a cultural impact because it shows a lighter side of living in the hood and not just the grimy aspects of it, like some of the other classics. Growing up in the lower and lower class areas, you need something like that to make you laugh and teach you a lesson every once in a while, because we have fun too. Now, I'm a huge fan of buddy cop films, from Beverly Hills Cop, Rush Hour, Hot Fuzz, Training Day. Yes, Training Day is a buddy cop film. Google it. But the main reason I like Bad Boys is because it's a real action comedy. The action overshadows the comedy and not vice versa. Unlike movies like Ride Along, Central Intelligence, White Chicks, which I love, I define those as comedy actions. With Bad Boys, I can sit down and watch a good action movie and still appreciate the authentic comedy. So this was Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, and Michael Bay's first blockbuster hit, and there was a lot of good cinematography. Michael Bay really took charge of this film. He even told Martin and Will to improvise the jokes because the ones in the script sucked. Now, I didn't include the second and third movie because I feel like the first one had more balanced character and story-wise. The second and third dug deeper into their personal lives, and I'd rank the third one dead last, even though I enjoyed it. I think it tried too hard to catch the essence of what a Bad Boys movie was, and it just kind of missed the mark just by a little bit. And also the timeline really didn't add up if you really pay attention to it. And number one on my top 5 favorite movies list is Hitch, starring Will Smith and Kevin James. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, it's basically about a date doctor who consults these love-struck men on how to woo the woman of their dreams, while he ironically fails at his own advice. Anyway, I was about 9 years old when this came out. I didn't see it in theaters because when I went to go see it, the next show didn't start until about 10 o'clock. So we went to go see Tyler Perry's Diary of a Mad Black Woman instead. Another classic. But when I finally did see it, I fell in love with it. The idea of falling in love and taking the risk to pursue it was inspiring. There was some innocence behind it. And as a 9-10-year-old kid, getting extremely more interested in girls, this was basically my guide. And as I got older, I ventured off into searching for further guidance. Now, this movie had a lot of good pacing of it. It wasn't too slow for a romantic comedy. The story itself was intriguing, and when I'm watching TV shows and movies, I'm all about story. If it's not a good story, I'm not watching it. And the connection between the characters in this movie was like so coincidental. This guy who he refused to work with finessed her out of the cookie, in which she cries to her friend who happens to be his love interest, who decides to expose him for working with him, who is in love with her, who is the biggest person in New York because she feels she's defending her friend and that he is a con artist when In reality, he's a love guru. But I really do enjoy the theme of with the right approach and staying true to yourself, you will eventually find love because Kevin James' character Albert, he ain't get Allegra based on Hitch's advice. He got her based on screwing up that advice by being himself. And that kind of taught me a lot while I was growing up. And there it is, my top 5 favorite movies. In the comment section, I would like to know what are your top 5 favorite movies. And if you want me to make a video diving deeper into some of the explanations, like why the original Friday and Bad Boy movies are superior to their successors, or my definition of action comedy versus comedy action, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.